First off, after the Middle Tennessee State game, I talked a lot about us, and I did not talk at all about Middle Tennessee, and that was disrespectful. I haven't called Kermit about it, but I'm probably going to, but I hope some of this gets up that way. It was a really good environment, you know, for a middle December game. I thought Middle, their administration, the people up in Nashville did a really good job hosting it, because it was a pretty good environment for a big building. It was a pretty good environment. They had a good turnout. We had a very good turnout. I want to thank the people. We had 3 clubs that were very involved. The club up in Nashville, Auburn clubs, the Huntsville club, the Muscle Shoals club, and it was a turnout that was at least twice what I could have ever imagined it would be to follow Auburn basketball team, pick 10th out of 14 on the road in a December game. It was wonderful. And then as far as the game was concerned, I spent a lot of time talking about what we didn't do, and I didn't spend any time talking about what Middle did. I just want Middle to get credit for the win. They played very well. You know, it's a team, if you know, again, I'll move forward here in a second, but, you know, they have competed very well in their conference. You know, they lost to UAB in the conference tournament championship at UAB, so they're 1 win from the NCAA tournament. These guys win a lot of games, and they know how to win. And I think that was evident by the way they played. They played with confidence, they executed, and they made plays, and I want to give them the credit for it. I was critical of myself and my team in defeat, trying to be accountable, but as a result, I gave no credit to our opponent, and that was wrong with me. So I congratulate Kermit Davis in Middle Tennessee, and I want to thank our fans for showing up. We schedule games like Mercer, Middle Tennessee, people like that. We have since I've gotten here. When we're going to play either a mid-major conference like a SoCon, then we're going to play the best teams in that conference. We're going to play the teams that compete for championships. It's the right thing to do as far as the math is concerned, as far as the RPIs are concerned. This Mercer team is off to the best start in school history. Their next 3 games are against us, Arkansas, Ohio State, which will further increase their RPI. And it makes it a hard game to win, but it makes it a game worth playing. I think historically, teams that are in the lower half of high major leagues, when they do play these teams from these conferences, they take the bottom feeders and teams that they can destroy, get a false sense of confidence, and then don't really benefit from it. So, really good opponent, but like Middle opponent that we can beat if we play well. If you need to step out and cough really loud, go ahead. I think it's just let it all hang out. I can call a 20-second timeout.
I'm good.
You're good? Can I get all right. Questions?
What's the message to the team after that one, Bruce? Because that's one, obviously, that because of the comeback and regulation, everything could stick with you for a minute, and you have a quick turnaround. So just what's the message of that?
Good question. We didn't watch the tape as a team. I think most of the guys watched it themselves. I watched it like 3 times. I don't have many sleepless nights because I'm tired, but I had a sleepless night on Saturday. I think the message was a similar message to what it was after the game. We're best when everybody contributes. And we got very, very strong contributions from a few players, and we did not get enough from others. And that's not just the others' fault, it's our team's fault. So offensively and defensively, we need to be fully engaged. You know, if you look at our minutes, you know, we played 7 heavily and played 3 or 4 a lot. And we've got to spread the minutes out a little bit more and get more from, you know, that was a big message. I mean, our transition defense was bad, and that's something that we need to, you know, improve on. And And I thought that middle defensively did enough to disrupt us offensively, where part of it was them, but part of it was ourselves. We have to work hard to get open and improve our angles. We kind of slopped through things. So,
How's Taj doing?
Taj practiced yesterday, and there's a chance he could play tomorrow. So he had a contact practice for the first time yesterday. He was guarded, but he was still Taj. He's still effective. He still makes us better. So he's braced down pretty good, but it's his right shoulder that came out, and so from a standpoint of it's not a shooting shoulder, and so there's a chance he could play some against Mercer.
How important would that be, not only for this game, Bruce, but mainly for Saturday?
Very important. No, this is this game. I mean, this is this game. You know, that's Saturday's game is a completely different animal. This game here is they've got two terrific senior guards, and defensively, you know, Taj could really help us. And yet, you know, when you talk about transition is communication, getting back, building a wall. You know, this kid Langford, Philip Leonard, really good going downhill. He can get to the rim anytime he wants to, and he'll be as good getting to the rim as anybody, and he'll score in transition. Lewis can make shots, and so no, Taj would help us in this game.
How psychologically, because it's coming off a loss, I'm sure it's a little bit more difficult with this game in between and then going to Xavier, which I'm sure for some players is a bit of a circle game and number one on the RPI. Do you avoid I don't want to say letdown, but overlooking a little bit?
No, there will be no chance to overlook these guys. Our guys won't overlook them. We've watched on them on tape. They know they're 8-1. They know they beat Tulane, which is a American Conference opponent. And they know they beat Duke a couple of years ago in NCAA tournament. You know, another team. They finished third last year in their league, and so there won't be absolutely any overlooking Mercer heading into Xavier. It'll be all we can do. Hey, look, you know, Mercer, the last couple times they've come to this arena, they've won, or this Auburn. I mean, they've beaten Auburn two of the last three times they've played. I think the series has got 31 games in it, and 16-15 Mercer. So, no, we'll have to play well to win the game.
Bruce, this week, obviously with no classes, how much does that help you guys in being able to kind of focus on basketball and just kind of get into that?
Well, I would say that, you know, Sunday was probably the first feel, which would be just yesterday, would be their first feel, because normally if we had to get together on Sunday, we'd do a little Bible study, a little study, we'd practice, and then start about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, those guys would have tutors and mentors, and they'd be studying on Sunday night. So I know the guys did remark afterwards that yesterday got a chance to go back to the dorm and relax, probably watch some football. And then this morning, we decided to go ahead and practice at 2:30 today. We play a late game tomorrow. And then the rest of the week we'll try to practice early because of the early game on Saturday. So I don't think the guys have really felt the effect of being on break yet. That might be a little later on in the week.
Bruce, is Mercer similar to anybody you've faced thus far, or what they bring is totally different than what you've seen?
You know, they're really well coached. I think, you know, one of the things, again, that as you look at playing guys like Middle Tennessee or Georgia Southern or you know, UAB or whatever, we're playing, you know, good programs with really good coaches that run really good stuff, and so hard to guard stuff. So when you do that, it just gets your team so much more prepared for, you know, everything else that we might see. You know, I suppose they're probably close to middle as far as their personnel and some of their schemes. I'd say middle would probably be the team that would be most like Mercer.
To the big picture of the season, Bruce, because I know you always have to take a step back to kind of think of that. But 4-2, and with this kind of game, I don't want to call it must win at the 7th game of the season, but you recognize the challenge of the SEC schedule. This is a pretty important
Absolutely, we gotta win the ones you can win, there's no question, we're trying to, exceed those expectations. Teams that are picked 10th out of 14 don't play in postseason. We're trying to finish our season where we can qualify for postseason, that's our expectation. And so therefore, beating a team like Mercer, who has a really good chance to go to the NCAA tournament out of the SoCon, it's gonna be them or Chattanooga would be my guess. Not to take anything else away from any of the other teams in that league. Sanford's doing well, East Tennessee State's doing well, Wofford's a good team, there are other good teams in the SoCon. But I think, the league is gonna go through a chance, Chattanooga, Mercer, one of those other teams. So it's a chance for us to beat another tournament team. I mean, these are resume builders. They are, and you gotta have enough math to get there, so that's an important one.
Bruce, you'll hear a lot of people say that, Mercer will come in here with nothing to lose. Having coached at Milwaukee like you did, can you just kind of put to bed that kind of bunk? Because they don't get a lot of chances to play high major teams. These are the games that they schedule for a reason.
Oh, yeah, well, they've got us, and they've got, as I said, Arkansas, they got Ohio State. And I wouldn't be surprised if they win a game or two of those. They're capable of it. And so, yeah, this is what they're kind of pointing towards, and then they get into their conference play. So I don't know, it's nothing to lose, it's obviously a good opportunity for them. But our focus is this, we again are a team that, this will be the 7th time in the season that, that Kareem's played with Tyler, and played with TJ Dunnins, and played with Sim and Lang, and it's just a lot of moving parts. And offensively, defensively, how we handle things, how we grow, how we improve, how we stay together, the challenges. And that's why when teams have lots of guys that have been together for a year or so, you build on that. But because we have so many new guys, there's not as much to build on. But there's enough there where we're gonna get better, we're gonna keep improving, and we're gonna keep growing.
Bruce, when you look at UAB, Colorado, Coastal, and then last week, I mean, one of the common threads in that is you guys had big leads and then just let the other teams come back. Is that just as simple as the other team just gaining some momentum, or you guys letting up, or is that just basketball? Is that just a game of runs?
I think they're all different. I think they're all different. We are a system of runs. We do get on our runs because of pressure and because of the break and things like that. I would say that we worked pretty hard to get a 9-point lead, but we did not work very hard in the first couple of minutes to keep it. I thought our starters played very well to start the game, but those same starters also came out of the locker room and took a little time to get loosened up, and all of a sudden, all that we had worked for was now gone in about 2 minutes. It was tied in about 2.5 minutes after we started the game. It was close to it. It was at least a one-possession game after 2 minutes.
Oh, good.
Thank you, Bruce.